There's a report on 401k millionaires that talks about what are the common characteristics of 401k millionaires. They contribute to their retirement account as soon as possible, not the deadline.
The company match,
Yeah.
I can convert to Roth?
I could convert that to Roth. Even if I took tax deductions earlier, let's say the last 5 years I've been contributing to my company 401k and I've been doing traditional dollars because I wanted the tax deductions.
But Matt, I make too much money.
There's no income limit on Roth conversions. That was like a rule 15 years ago that got changed.
Woo!
So there's no income limit, so you can always convert to Roth. We're going to be talking about unique 401k strategies, some cool things you can be doing with your 401k. I know a lot of people are like boring 401ks and guys. There are 900,000 people at Fidelity alone that have $1 million in their 401k. This is a tried and true method to grow and build wealth. There's ways you can supercharge it by self-directing it. But we want to hit some of the cool strategies you may not have thought about that you can be doing in your 401k.
And we're going to go hard and fast at this. There'll be additional podcasts or articles you're going to want to refer to. We'll mention those as we go through this. We just want to kind of like, just like rifle shot some of these cool strategies, and we really are, I don't even think we have the full list yet, because once we get into it, we always think of something kind of fun. I'm going to start with what I think is the number one coolest thing about a 401k that millions of Americans don't know, and that is you can self-direct it. Now, at your day job 401k that you're currently employed, you can't, unless they want to adopt a plan that will allow it, but they're beholden to Wall Street, which they're not going to allow. So it's out there. You can do it. You could have a group 401k that's self-directable, but no, Fidelity's not going to even bring that up or offer that. So here's the point, though. You can self-direct a 401k. So someday when you leave your job or you have a solo 401k, if you're an entrepreneur, you can control what it's invested in. I think that's a pretty cool, unique thing that a lot of people don't realize, is that it doesn't have to always be stocks, bonds, mutual funds.
Yeah, when Mark says self-directing, we're talking real estate, the rental property down the street, private money lending, investing in a small business, in a startup, in a pre-IPO company, buying crypto. That's all stuff your 401k and IRA can buy. Now, there's ways you get to that. That's what our whole Directed IRA podcast is about. But let me hit the next one that I think everyone can do, regardless of what you want to invest into, and that is the match and out strategy.
Oof, I love that.
Mark J. Kohler loves this one. I don't know who coined it, but I think you might have coined that.
Yeah, and I'm going to write this on your list because I want to give you some love here too, is get your money in as soon as you can.
Yes. That's a good one.
I'm going to let you do that one. Okay, so I will say matching out is something that I've kind of coined over the years, and that is, and I was at a Monday Night Football party this week. Oh, it's so good. Football's back. Oh my gosh. It's like life begins again. Life is good again. The world still is rotating. So anyway, I was there with this young person that was telling me about their cool new job, and they were just beaming. They were so excited about the company culture. And he said, the day you start here, we get to participate in the 401k. Now, I don't know when it's going to fully vest. If he quit tomorrow, I don't know if the company match is going to roll with him, but that's a whole other topic. But I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. You can play in the company 401k on day one. He's like, yep. And I go, what's your match? And he said, it's 6%. I go, wow, that's pretty healthy. That's very unique out there, a 6% match, especially for brand new employees. But what that means is if he makes $100,000, they're going to put in up to $6,000. If he puts in $6,000, they'll put in $6,000. If he puts in $5,000, they'll put in $5,000. If he puts in $7,000, they'll put in $6,000. The match is up to 6% of his salary if he plays. Now, what I told him is, great, make sure your match, you're taking advantage of the whole match. Find out what that number is, go to HR tomorrow, and make sure that you're putting aside that money because you're doubling your money. That's a double. Every time he puts in $1,000, they're going to match it. I mean, that's a hell of a return. And then get out. Don't put in another dollar over what they're willing to match. Match and get out. And you may say, why? It is because I would love you to go now at home and do your Roth IRA or your health savings account. Accounts that you can immediately take advantage of and control them, dial them up, dial them down, invest them in unique ways. I'd rather see you maxing out your personal Roth and your HSA next. Then, if you're killing it, go back and ratchet up that 401k at work a little if you want, but at least get the match and then get out.
Yeah, and the thing with the match is that 100% return dollar for dollar. 4% is the most common. This guy had a good deal at 6%. Yep. And you might even have something better, but 4% is pretty common. And so, but the investment options are so much better in a Roth IRA. You have more control of what you can do with the money. A lot of 401k plans have a mutual fund lineup or some target date funds. The returns on those aren't as great, even if you're just buying the S&P 500 in your Roth IRA, let alone self-directing, the fees. So that's why we're like, let's go get the match because that is super valuable, but then we're getting out. Now you're going to go to the next thing, which is the Roth IRA. And if you're like, I can't do a Roth IRA, Mark and Matt, I'm high income. We're going to do a backdoor Roth IRA. Okay. We got podcast episodes on that. Okay. Now the next thing.
Okay. So number one was you can self-direct. Number two, you take advantage of the 100% match.
And then get the hell out.
Some may think that's not unique, but the matching out is the unique feature there. Because I just want to reemphasize that. Everybody at work says, oh, I'm going to put in the maximum amount I can in the 401k. Yeah, do up to the match. See, I want to repeat that. That's the subtle difference here. Don't just max out your 401k at work because you don't get to control those investments as much. You'd still put in the max in a sense by going out and playing with your Roth and your HSA. That's the unique piece. And we didn't say max and out. We said match.
Yeah. So that example Mark gave, the guy that making 100K, 6% 401k match, he puts in 6, the company puts in 6, but it only costs him $6,000. Now this guy might be like, guys, I'm willing to put in $13,000 a year. Should I drop another 7 into the company 401k? What we're saying is no, go open a Roth IRA and drop that $7,000 in the Roth IRA.
You might want to do some crypto in that. You might want to build that little Roth IRA up and then do some real estate, partner with some family and friends. I've got a crypto mine in my Roth IRA. I've done cows before. I've got real estate in my Roth. Matt, you've done real estate in yours?
Lots of real estate, private money lending, investing in private companies, pre-IPO stuff, like that's all stuff you can do, and that's so that Roth IRA could be self-directed. But again, it could even just be the S&P 500 for now until it's building up. So depending on where you're at, we're trying to optimize these dollars in the best way possible.
Third unique strategy, what do you like?
I like the Roth conversion. Okay.
Inside of 401k, you can convert to Roth.
You can do that inside of 401k.
So the company match. I can convert to Roth?
I could convert that to Roth. Even if I took tax deductions earlier, let's say the last 5 years I've been contributing to my company 401k and I've been doing traditional dollars because I wanted the tax deductions.
But Matt, I make too much money.
There's no income limit on Roth conversions. That was like a rule 15 years ago that got changed.
Woo!
So there's no income limit, so you can always convert to Roth. This year, I converted our law firm 401k, which I have a lot of traditional dollars in it. I've been contributing it for a long time. I self-direct it, by the way. It's a little unique. I self-direct our 401k. Of course, I'm going to do that. Yeah. But I converted the whole thing to Roth.
Ooh, rip the Band-Aid off.
Dude, hundreds of thousands of dollars is going to hit me on this 1099-R. But I'm willing to take short-term pain for long-term gain. Okay, so I'm taking the Roth. I'm gonna grow this tax-free. It's gonna come out tax-free. So I ran the calculators on it, and it was like a no-brainer in my scenario because I get all this tax-free growth moving forward. So
you're just full of all sorts of little cool,
right?
Short-term pain for long-term gain.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the motto of the Roth conversion.
That's the whole thing of the Roth conversion.
Because I'm gonna write a note here that's private. Okay.
It does suck right now, and you will hate it if you convert to Roth because you're gonna get a 1099R. You will hate it, but in 10 years you're gonna be like, man, that was a genius move.
Okay, I got a unique one.
Okay.
We didn't even talk about this before the show. Okay, you can convert to Roth inside your 401k, your day job 401k, or your solo, doesn't matter. The one is, I was going to say, you can contribute. Your 401k deferral can be Roth,
right?
Which is a new law.
Well, you've always been able to do the employee deferral Roth.
Yeah, and your income doesn't matter with that either.
That's right. No backdoor Roth stuff required for the 401k, no income limit on doing Roth. The employer contribution is the new rule where you can do Roth dollars as the company match. So that passed 2 years ago. The IRS finally got around to barely putting some rules together on it. So company 401ks are coming around. So this is a new thing, 2024. You have to wait for your company to adopt this, but you can say, hey, I want the company match to be Roth.
Yeah, so that'll
be taxable
income. That's different
to you.
than what I'm talking about, but I love that. So I'm going to stick with Matt's here for a moment. This is a new, unique provision that you could walk into HRA tomorrow, Human Resources tomorrow, and say, hey, that company match you're doing for me, that 6% or 4%, I want it to be Roth. And they may look at you glossy eyed and go, We can't do that. Oh, no, you can. I demand it. Get it done. That's the new law that was passed last year. So, okay, what I'm saying is, has any of you listening been told by your accountant you make too much money to do a Roth IRA? You may have heard that, right? Well, your Roth, your deferral on your 401k, there's no income rule on the deferral if you make too much money. It can be Roth.
Yeah, you can.
And a lot of people miss that.
You can be making tens of millions of dollars and still be able to do Roth 401k contributions.
So Roth, I'm going to write that down here. Roth 401k contribution, no income limit. That's a unique thing.
Yeah.
Because you got to do a backdoor, a two-step with the Roth IRA to do that, but not with the 401k.
Yep. You're going through the front door in the Roth 401k.
Yeah, woo, love that.
Let's talk about you self-employed people for a second, because a lot of these other ones that we're going to hit can really help self-employed people. We get a lot of self-employed people who are like, Matt, I didn't have a 401k at a day job. I've been self-employed. I'm a consultant, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate investor, I'm a contractor, and I just don't have employees. I mean, I got some 1099 people or whatever, but I never had a 401k. What can I do? You can do a solo 401k. We freaking love the solo 401k. There's a special right now going on in our law firm at Directed on this where you can save money to set one up. But you can do what's called a solo 401k. That's a 401k plan just for you. The self-employed person, you can put $69,000 a year in it. It's freaking awesome.
And get over to our sister podcast, the Main Street Business Podcast, for all things solo 401k. We just recorded, I think it's almost a 45-minute podcast that just goes through all the benefits of a solo. Get over there. Okay, I'm going to say number 7, unique 401k strategy is many people don't know you can have 2 401ks. You can have 3 401ks. For example, you can have the 401k at work where you're doing the matching out. Then you have this little side gig you're doing, and you have set up a solo 401k for that, and that's pretty amazing. And then your spouse, maybe your spouse is a realtor, and they're making money over there, and they're maxing out a little solo 401k themselves, and they put you on payroll on that too. So you could be doing 3 401ks. Now, it doesn't mean you can triple down on your 401k deferral. Your 401k deferral is still $23,000, but you could do 10 here, 5 there, and 8 there. You could do a deferral in all 3 401ks. Now, I don't know. That's not for everybody. It depends.
Yeah.
But at least I like the day job 401k and the solo for your side hustle 401k.
Yeah.
You can do that.
And I love that because that goes back to one of the earlier ones we talked about, the matching out. Because that's in that scenario, you would do the match at the day job 401k, only put enough money in there because you're going to get the match. Then the rest, you're going to go drop in your solo 401k before you do the Roth IRA. Because I got a solo K now where I can start contributing more dollars than I could even do in a Roth IRA. So that's assuming you want the solo K, and that's where you're going to try and build your wealth. All right.
Can I do one that's related to that? Number 8?
Yeah.
You can do a 401k and an IRA. A lot of people don't think that they can do that. So you can have a 401k at work. You can have the solo 401k on your side hustle. And you can still do a Roth IRA individually. Yeah. And then again, you're told, well, you make too much money. Or I make too much money to do a traditional IRA. Fine. Do the Roth.
Yeah. Or you can't do a Roth IRA because you have a 401k. Backdoor Roth IRA.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing. It gets around all these rules.
And
that's what I do every year.
Yeah. They'll say, well, you can't, you'll hear this out there. And I've got a table here that says if you have a 401k at work and you make too much money, you can't do a traditional IRA. Oh, you can. You just don't get a write-off for it, and then you convert it to Roth on day 2.
And you got a backdoor Roth
IRA. And you're in the party. Everybody wants to be in Gamma Roth, but sometimes you can't go in the front door. John Belushi had to go in the back door. That was, you want to be in that party. I mean, they're having a toga party. You're looking up there going, oh my gosh, Jim Belushi's up there having a toga party at that. I want to be in that party. You can go in the back door.
It's quite obvious.
We teach that.
Quite obvious.
So get over to our podcast on the backdoor Roth. Oh my gosh. This is so good. So you can have a Roth and a 401k. Oh my gosh, Matt, I want to say it. Number 9, the mega. Did we say that? That's not even on our list, right? Oh, you run with that, baby.
All right, let's talk about the mega backdoor Roth. Now, I want to talk about just for your 401k. You can combo in the Roth IRA here. Maybe you want to top it off with that. Yeah. But the mega backdoor Roth is something you can do. And this is if you're high income. You're making good money. Mm-hmm. You're like, man, I can do $23,000 a year in my 401k at my job. I got the match and I got out. Maybe I went and did $7,000 in a Roth IRA, and I'm like,
I do more?
I want to do more. Yes, you can. You can contribute up to $69,000 a year into your 401k. Well, Matt, I put in 23. My company match was 7. I'm only at 30 in my 401k.
And then I go home and do my
and I did my Roth IRA.
So there's 7. Now I'm at 37.
But you said I can do up to $69,000 a year in my 401k. I got $39,000 left. How do I do that?
Do you know how we learned this too? It was from some oil rig guys up in Montana or South
Alaska.
Dakota. Because they showed up and said, we're doing more. And we're like, how the hell are you doing more?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're doing it at Fidelity. It wasn't like, And so, and this is what they're doing. They're making a couple $100,000 a year. They live dirt cheap. They got like housing and everything. And, and so they'd go make all their money and it's seasonal. And then they'd come back and live with their family. But they were maxing out their 401ks. Really cool. So, and now we've done it with so many clients over the years, And so that other $39K though, that's left in the company 401k. Now hear me out on this because this is really important. This is an after-tax contribution.
This is what the oil rig guys did.
Yeah. After-tax contribution in the 401k up to $39,000. Sometimes this is called the mega backdoor Roth. Now, the cool thing about this is after-tax contributions can be rolled out of the 401k plan to a Roth IRA immediately. You don't have to wait till you leave. You don't have to be 59 and a half. You can immediately roll that out into a Roth IRA.
Or leave it in the 401k.
Or leave it in the 401k.
And convert it to Roth.
But why would I do that? If I want to self-direct and I already got a Roth IRA over here, I drop $7K in, I want to roll it out immediately to a Roth IRA. Now what happens, it's after tax, so you didn't take a tax deduction on it. There's no fee to convert it. It automatically gets rolled to Roth IRA dollars, so there's no tax to convert because you didn't take a deduction on it. And so that's the mega backdoor Roth. Now, there's a couple caveats to that. One, let's say you're a business owner with employees. Let's take me, okay? We have a 401k plan, law firm, we got one in Directed and other companies. We've got employees. If you are a 5% or more shareholder in a company with other employees, you can't do this.
Yeah. And another.
But if you're solo, you actually could.
Yeah.
Because you don't have other employees to worry about. It's just you.
Yeah. So your day job 401k, you could do this, or you could come do it in your solo if you don't have employees. And what's interesting here, let me button this down because you may say, oh, slow down. What'd you do? See, this is where these oil rig guys, they were like, they had so much extra money. They were like, I want to do more. I want to figure it out. And they literally figured out, and they went into HR at the oil rig company and said, I want to put more in. And they go, well, you can, but you don't get a write-off for that. And so they were scratching their head.
And there's no more match. You already got the maximum match.
Yeah, you already got that. Why would you do that? And they said, no, put it in there. Is this after-tax contribution? And they go, it's going to be on your W-2. You're going to pay tax on that, and you don't get a write-off for that. Why would you do that? And you go, and they said, because on day 2, I'm going to tell you to send it over to my Roth IRA, and there's no tax because it's already included in their W-2. See, that's the unique trick is, oh, it's in your W-2. You're willing to pay tax on it. Yeah, I got all this extra money. I don't mind paying the extra tax on it.
You were going to pay on it anyway.
You're
it's on your W-2. Whether it's more.
It's in my W-2 already. Just pop it into my 401k, and they go, it doesn't reduce your reduce your W-2 like a normal traditional would. And they go, okay. And then on day 2, they go, send it to my Roth.
Yeah.
No tax.
Now I will say some sophisticated employers that do have a lot of higher other income, are familiar with this strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And these oil rig guys like pioneered it for themselves. And so this is a well-known strategy. You can get out there. It's a little complicated as you dig into it, but we gave you the process on how to do that.
Yep. Well, it wasn't well known to us. We figured out, okay, number 10.
Well, there was a new revenue ruling. This came out through, not a revenue ruling. There was a case about this, and this was like 2014 or something.
Yeah.
So it kind of came about through case law of like, can you do this? And it was a loophole that a lot of people are like, I don't think that works. And then it was like, oh no, it works.
Yeah. All right. So number 10, unique 401k. Do you want to say rollover?
I don't know what was rollover again.
I don't know. Is that you can
roll funds from an old 401k into your new 401k.
I don't know.
You might want to roll them to an IRA too because you have more investment
Okay.
options.
Let's say number 10 is no UDFI.
Okay.
You want to explain
Okay,
that?
yeah. So let's say you decide to do a solo K or you're self-directing the 401k. One of the rules is when you use an IRA to go buy real estate, which is very common, you can get a loan to go buy a property. You're like, I want to buy a property for $100,000, but I only have 40. I can go get a mortgage for the other 60,000. It has to be what's called a non-recourse loan. Now, if you're like doing that with an IRA, the IRS says, cool, we'll let that $40,000, you don't pay tax when you make money, but the $60,000 you have to pay a tax called UDFI on the profits from the debt piece. It's a little tricky to summarize here. But
it's unrelated debt financed income on that 60 because you leveraged your IRA. So the IRA says we're going to tax that income as debt financed income.
Yeah, we let you have more purchasing power with your IRA to buy more assets than you could have otherwise done because you didn't contribute enough. And we'll let those profits go and build in your retirement account in a tax-deferred manner for traditional tax-free and a Roth. But you got to pay a little tax. And it's 20% on the capital gains. Then you pay 37% max on the rental. But that's for IRAs. Now, solo Ks have an exemption to that on leveraged real estate where there's no UDFI when your 401k, solo K included, is investing in leveraged real estate. All right. We do need to wrap it up, though. You got a final?
Well, I love 10 unique strategies.
Okay.
I got to say one more. And this is a unique 401k strategy. And that's when you have the solo and you're married. And so you say, you know what? I want to double down. But I don't want to pay a ton of FICA to put my spouse on payroll. And see, some people will put their spouse on payroll in their small business because they think it's good for Social Security. It's not. The time I'd like you to put your spouse on payroll is so the stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home mom can play in the 401k as well. And so we want to find that sweet spot where we don't pay them too much in salary, but they can do their 23 grand and a little company match. So there's unique strategy of putting your spouse on payroll in the solo 401k. So if you have a side hustle, again, you have your day job, 401k, matching out. Then you got your side hustle, and you want to put the remaining contribution in there. Cool. Well, your spouse may not have a day job. They could be a stay-at-home mom or dad, and they get to do 23 grand. Wow. So if you paid them around 25, because you got to gross it up for FICA, so you put them a $25,000 W-2, and they say, I'll put it in my 401k, their W-2 might be zero. So it's a zero W-2. They end up with 23 grand in their 401k, and you got a write-off in your side hustle for 25 grand.
Those are traditional dollars.
Yeah, and that would be a traditional. They could do Roth, but the beauty of that is, I'll put my spouse on payroll for 25, take a write-off in my side hustle for 25 grand, and my spouse gets a W-2 for zero. And I got 23 sitting in his or her 401k that I can now self-direct with my contribution because I did matching out. I got my match at work, then I come and played in my solo 401k on my side hustle, doubled down with my spouse's contribution too. Now we got more to play with. We could go buy a rental property with that. We could go do some crypto. We could go do a hard money loan. And instead of this crappy mutual fund at my day job. That's why you're doing the matching out. And so if you have that side hustle, I think that has to make the list, don't you think?
Yeah. Was that 11 now?
That was number 11.
We're at 11.
Wow.
Wow.
12 commandments, 12, it's kind of got a ring to it, 12 unique.
Okay.
Do you want to do the SEP to 401k? What was this? Get your money in early.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Let's finish on this one.
Yeah, because
okay,
I love this. This is something you really taught me.
All right. This is a good tip because one of the things in putting money in a 401k, and particularly those that have solo Ks, self-employed, is they're like, when's the deadline to put it in?
When's the very last minute?
When's the last day I can put money in my 401k? Or even this applies to your IRA too.
Because I can get a write-off for last year.
Yeah.
And it is true.
Yeah,
it is kind of cool.
I can wait till a deadline, and that's cool. And your solo Ks, it's like plus your tax return extension. You're putting money in September of 2025 to get a 2024 deduction.
Can I say it one more way before you tell them the real strategy?
Yeah.
Okay, is that, again, this year, if you're hearing this right now, and you got your day job 401k, you got a side hustle, you could create the 401k now, decide how much you want to put in it, for this year's write-off, and you don't even have to put money in until next year. So you're like, I want to capture that write-off in 2024, but I don't have to put the money in until September of 25? I like that. So some may say that's a unique strategy that's good, not Matt Sorensen.
Yes, I mean, I like it because if we forgot about it or we're doing it after the fact, we're trying to get this in, I love it, but this is bad from an investment perspective because what do you do when you put money in? You invest it and it grows. We need our money to work for us. If I'm not investing the money, it's not investing in growing. And so there's a report on 401k millionaires that talks about what are the common characteristics of 401k millionaires. One of the common characteristics is they contribute to their retirement account as soon as possible, not the deadline. They're like, okay, I've made 40k this year. It's March. I've got my 40K already in my retirement account or whatever my max contributions are. And I think that is a better pathway to success in building wealth. Get your money in early, get it invested, get it working for you. Don't be the one turning in, your retirement plan contributions when the homework deadline hits.
I love it. Homework deadline. Get it in as soon as you can. Don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was 12 cool, unique strategies for the 401k. Grateful that you're here with us. This is such a powerful podcast. And if you found a unique strategy in there that's a golden nugget for you, please share this with your friend, family member. Give us a 5-star. We'd really appreciate it. Gets the word out there because we're really trying to do something different.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.